For most of my young life, elementary school, junior high, high school, I was raised by a single mom. I wouldn't have it any other way. She's a fantastic mom, biased, but it doesn't mean she was not a disciplinarian. She absolutely was, and believe it or not, and probably not, I got in a lot of trouble. I was, ADHD. They didn't have medication back in my day. There was no Ritalin. There was no whatever's out there now. I mean, it was just straight gonna get in trouble and gonna be straightened out for it and put on the straight and narrow. Straighten up and fly right is what she used to say. Well, when she wanted me to do something, I would always ask why. What for? Why do I have to do that? And she would always answer, because I said so. Now, being a good learner, I say the same thing to my kids, because I said so. And I wanted to know the reason, but she wanted to give me the authority. The authority version is because I said so. Now, she had something she actually wanted me to do. There was an outcome, there was a result that she desired, but she wanted her authority to be the key. And I think that we've got to have that as well in our business, that we need to have a little bit of authority. Now, it doesn't mean that we've got to broadcast it, but we need a statement, a cause that we are driven by, that we think about every day, or that we get consumed about for our market. So in the last video, we talked about the monetization matrix, and we're going to go block by block. And so today we're going to talk about the cause. Now, the challenge with the cause is that we often begin by being puzzled. We're sitting around trying to think of this great statement that's going to match our market. And hopefully when they see it, they're going to be in awe and overwhelmed by just the sheer fortune that they came across us, right? But instead, this statement needs to be for us, and it doesn't need to be something that's puzzling. It needs to be something that's purposed. And so we're going to shift from puzzled to purpose, that right-hand statement up there. And when it comes to purpose, then that allows us to wake up every single day with clarity and knowledge that what we're doing and why we're doing it is critical, and that we're going to be going the right path and doing the right things, because this is going to become a filter for us on whether or not we move in a certain direction, or whether we create certain products, or even certain products that we buy. Is it going to help us with our cause as well? And when I think about a cause statement, I think about something that's going to be thrilling for me, that I'm thrilled to be thinking about the statement. I'm thrilled to be serving the market in this way. And the way that I phrase it is this: I love to help blank because I am sick of blank. So with public speakers, I love to help public speakers, the industry, creatively communicate with confidence. Creatively communicate with confidence. Or I could say, I love to help public speakers create the best content and deliver it with confidence. Because I am sick of seeing speakers who have great knowledge about their particular industry, but they become a human tranquilizer when on stage, right? So that human tranquilizer to me is that emotional aspect. That's what I'm sick of. I'm sick of speakers being boring. I'm sick of them being human tranquilizers on stage, right? We want to make sure that they're focused and that my product or my coaching is going to allow them to do that. Because most of the speakers don't lack content. They do lack clarity. They don't know how to put it together and structure it in a way that becomes fascinating. And so that would drive me every single day to get out there in the public speaking field and make sure that I'm serving my clients to the nth degree. We're going to get to Kathy's question here in just a minute. But for Kathy, it may be, I love to help internet marketers face the truth about online business because I'm sick of seeing them go broke by buying hype and hope products, right? And so every day she's already thinking that way just because of the email that you're going to hear in a few minutes. But that puts it in a statement that every single day she could wake up and really get charged up about that, right? So what's going to be your cause? The first step is going to be making that statement that whether or not you publicize it, it's something that thrills you. It moves you from puzzle to purpose. And every single day you're going to get up knowing that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing within that particular sector or industry. All right, so we got a couple of questions today. The first one is from Marty. He says, first of all, I want to wish you a very prosperous and blessed new year, and to thank you for your time and energy in putting together this free coaching program. I look forward to the information you are going to provide. Thanks, Marty. I appreciate you participating. So Marty's background is martial arts. He's had a studio for a number of years, since 1979, and full-time since 1994. And besides the brick and mortar business, our plan is to be to build an online dojo that would offer 2 monthly memberships as well as several related martial arts courses. Now that I think about it, I have several questions, not just one, but ultimately I'm looking for some help with our first online effort, Breath of Tai Chi. The site is our attempt at online Tai Chi membership program we launched a few months ago with lackluster results. If I was to boil my thoughts down into one question, would it be possible for you to help us make this more successful as an online business? I think so, and I'll have a concept today called the One System that hopefully will be helpful. And it's actually, I think, a 1-hour recording, 1 hour-ish, and I'm going to link to it down in the show notes so you can go straight there and watch the system. It may seem a little bit strange to begin with, but I think that it really brings a lot of clarity, and it also allows you to really focus and get the most out of what you're wanting to do. So they're wanting to create a karate membership program, and he's been doing this for several years, actually several decades. It looks like 30, almost 50 years, so that's fantastic. One last thought, I did spend an hour and a half on the phone with internet guru Ryan Lee, and he thought I should forget Breath of Tai Chi brand and place it with my other courses under the banner of Anima Dojo, which is our brick and mortar website. You know, Marty, I think that's a great idea. I like Ryan a lot. He's a great guy. He really gives some really solid advice. And so I would say, you know, if you have it under one banner, that really tends to work out well because people don't have to keep up with multiple websites. I've done that in the past where I did multiple websites for different things. People just ended up getting confused. They would buy on one site and then they would say, hey, I went to this site over here and I can't find my stuff, and they're actually at the wrong website. So having it all under one, I believe, is really good and super helpful. Now, the One System is about having one mission, one source of traffic, one product, and giving it 1 year of application. So what might this look like for you? So let's say that you've got the 2 memberships there at your website, which is still fine. To me, it's still one product. It's just a different level to participate in. And so you would have one traffic source. Where are your people? The people that would become your members, are most of those on Facebook? Are most of them on LinkedIn? Are most of them on Instagram? Are most of them on YouTube? Wherever the most of your people are, that's where you want to be, and that's where you want to start, and that's where you want to stay. Because if you try to do traffic through Facebook, Instagram, and 5 different avenues, sure, you'll probably get some traffic from each one, but you won't master it. You won't really keep an eye on it and really dial it in, because none of these things really work automatically. You know, when I see these products out there about get traffic on Facebook and we turned $1,000 into $50,000 in 3 days, the only way that happened is that they so dialed it in. They probably have spent 2 or 3, 4 years understanding their systems, measuring everything to get that result. They make it sound like, hey, we found out about Facebook last night and holy smokes, we're already rich. That's not what happened. So even those of us who are students, when we buy a product like that and we go to apply it, it doesn't work out very well for us because we just don't have the reps in. So if you'll decide on one traffic source, the one that you believe is best for your audience, and spend a year there, really dialing it in, really working on it, and probably out of the gate, it's not going to go really well. Your results aren't going to be great, but you have to stick with it over time, get those reps in, understand and learn what's bringing the result. And then once you know, wow, when we run this type of ad to this audience on this platform, here's the result. Now let's scale it. So I'm going to put a link to the One System for you to watch that to go along with this answer. And then secondly is Kathy. So Kathy says this. First, she says, it looks like a reunion here, because a lot of the folks who have made comments so far are from my email list. And so she's like, wow, a lot of people that we either know each other or they've been in my space for a lot of years. And I'm grateful for that. I don't take that for granted. And in a day and age where it's pretty easy to jump from coach to coach and idea to idea and system to system, I'm honored that so many of you have hung around for so long. Says, I also want to say it's great to hear and see you again. Thanks for the transparency and honesty. I speak about internet marketing niche as you're doing. I've found that people want to buy into the hype and the promises. I feel like I'm bursting their bubble when I educate them on the truth about said product, said individual that others are promoting. They buy into the hype and then come to me and tell me I was right and want me to lower my fees because they spent a ton on others. Any suggestions in getting the ugly truth across without losing them to the hype and dream sellers? Kathy, that's a great question. And I love you saying the ugly truth. When in my five stones course, goal setting course, I talk about the pretty and the ugly why. Like when we're exercising, we tell everybody the pretty why. Yeah, I'm exercising because I want to be healthier. Be healthier for my kids. I want to be healthier to work in my job and get all these results, blah, blah, blah. So that's the pretty why. It's stuff we'll tell anybody. The ugly why is what we don't share. And that is, hey, I want other people to be jealous because I lost all this weight. I'm actually embarrassed to be so heavy and my kids are embarrassed about me. So those are ugly things, right? So I think that instead of you having to convince them about the hype and the hope, is you let them convince themselves. So in the very beginning, when they're not wanting to work with you because they believe some hype and hope out there, I think you lead them through an exercise to allow them to come to the conclusion. Okay, so what is it about this product that draws you to it? Well, blank, 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 blank. And they're doing this and they're doing that, and I think I'll get a great result. Okay, so what's the big promise that they're making that you believe is going to happen to you? Then they'll say it. And then you'll say, okay, so given what you just said, do you believe that you have the skill set, the direction, the clarity to move forward with this product and it actually work for you? Are you in a spot right now that you actually need to buy this? So you have to get them to answer the question. They're going to lead themselves down the hype and hope. Now on the opposite side, when they come back around and they're like, I'm broke, I spent all this money, but now I want to work with you and I need you to lower your fees. I mean, that's just an honest conversation where you have to go, do you really think that it's fair for me to be penalized for your poor decision? Now, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think so at all. In fact, I think that them working with you and getting that clarity is worth, 5, 10 times what they were paying for a product, right? Because they're going to actually get the truth. And when you're talking about that truth telling, it reminds me of that passage where Paul is talking, I believe, to the Galatians, where he says, have I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? And it's tough because people want to believe. They want to suspend their belief and they want to go in believing that this is, as I mentioned in the very first video, that this is the answer. And when I buy this, everything else is going to fall into place. And we know that's not true. They know it's not true. It's always better to work with somebody who's going to be straight up, who's going to be honest, and is going to lead you down the path that you need to go, even if it's not a path that you want to go. So Kathy, keep up that good work. I appreciate you representing the internet marketing niche with so much integrity and honesty. Continue leading people down that path and allow them to come to their own decision and point out some of the negatives of the products that they're buying. And make sure you keep your fees where they are, because it certainly is not fair for you for somebody to come and expect you to drop your fee since they spent their money on things they shouldn't have. Well, guys, thanks for coming out for another episode. Next time, we'll take the next step and we're going to look at content. And I'm going to give you the greatest law about content, greatest law in the universe. Until then, as always, success is not an accident. Be blessed.